Hello, Benga here. Again, I want to take you through Excel format or Excel formatting. Formatting is just like it's a way of really, will I say, packaging your Excel report to make it attractive. You want to package your Excel report to make it meaningful, to make it insightful, and to make it readable because sometimes Excel files looks very raw, looks very discrete, looks sometimes meaningless. But you want to ensure that you want to highlight, you want to format, you want to pinpoint things that will attract anybody you are sending the report to. Because as a data analyst, you need to show it to your stakeholders in a pleasant and very interpreting way. Let me put it that way. So, in talking about Excel formatting, I have sent three exercise file. I have Excel format 1, Excel format 2, and Excel format 3. And let's start with Excel format 1. We are going to see it in the raw form, in the raw data, what you can do, what you can use to tweak data. But at format 2 and format 3, we are going to design. We are going to make a report that looks attractive, so to speak. I'm not a designer, but you just have to tag along with me. So for this first one, we are looking at um, we'll talk about font. When we talk about Excel formatting, first thing first we want to look at is the font. What is font? How can you make a font bold? How can you underline a font? You make a font italic, you are going to see the difference. Give an Excel sheet a border, give an Excel sheet a background color, give the Excel font itself its own color, and look at different font styles that we have. I can call it different font writings. Normally, I used to call them writings. We have our individual writings, ones that looks pappy to us, and the one that looks very rough. Although everything here will be, I think, will be spappy, will be looking okay. Then we'll talk about alignment. Then we'll talk about numbers. How do we arrange our numbers? Are we putting them in decimal places? Our dates, and I've seen reports because based on experience, I've seen some stakeholders. So stakeholders are people that have interest, or maybe your senior colleague, the senior management team that want a particular format. People, for example, me, I got confused when it comes to date. Most of the time, what I look out for in date is I don't know whether you are using DD, that is days, month, or year. I don't know whether you are using date, month, or year. I don't know whether you are using any other kind of formatting. I want to close the background noise by closing my WhatsApp. I want to know what you mean because even looking at the date, I have 1/11/2023. I know it's the year, but 1/11 I don't know. 2/11 I might be thinking 1/11 could be January 11 or 1st of November. So some stakeholders want to see it in a way that is meaningful to them, in a way that makes sense to them, or they want some particular standard. Some people can just tell you, go and use hey, I've forgotten this framework now. They'll just tell you, use this standard, use that standard. So you have to go and know the standard and give it to them in the right format. Because sometimes Excel file can be imported to another Power BI, for example. If you want to import it to Power BI, what other data do we have there? What's the format that we have at Power BI? So we need to know each format so that we can actually take our data there in the right format. And when it comes to currency, now this is 50, 60, 70. Is it in dollars? Is it in pounds? Is it in naira? We need to determine that because I can't just say currency 50, 60, 70. Is it $70? Is it 50 naira or 60 rupee, the Indian style or the Indian symbol? So you have to put the right symbol when it comes to currency. So these are all basically what we want to see. This video will be a bit lengthy, but let's continue. I believe it's going to be engaging. So when we talk about font, how the first thing we want to see is the font okay? Can we bold it? And to bold a font, you can just click on the B icon from the font group. This is the font group. I can decide to bring up the font dialog box or box. So when I bring up the font dialog box, I can also click on bold. I can also increase the size if I want it to be more visible or what have you. I can just increase that. Once I click OK, it will be bigger. And if I wanted to go back to I just press my Control Z key to undo, and to unbold it, I click back on the B sign and it's back to its normal state. So now I want to make it bold. For italic, I want to slant it a bit, I want to style it a bit. I just click the I or Control I. So you can see it has changed. If I can see it again, everything is straightened up, but I can slant it a bit. That's italic. For underline, I just press Control U. You can see it's Control U, or you just click on the U. Underline. We have a drop down arrow here. You can make the underline double. So double line, single line, that's what we have in Excel. For border, border, you can see some lines in our cells. They don't mean border, but that's how the cells are partitioned. But to introduce real border into the cell, you have to look at the front group. You see the border, what will I call it now? Border lists. So for the border list, you can just click on the list arrow so that it shows you more. And you can make your border all round border. You can make it thick outside. Everything is thick outside. You see that it's different from every other cell. And you have so many other options. When you go to the border list, you can just use the up border, and when you come, you see the up border. You can go for the left, whatever border, but I'm just going to stick to my stick border. When it comes to background color, we call it the color fill. The cell, you have to fill it with the color. And by default, I have yellow here, but I can go to the color lists and pick a color that I think is good for me. Fine, I pick blue. But for a record, this blue would not really look cool with my font color. So now, to take us to the font color, I can decide to make my font color a little bit lighter, which makes it readable at a glance. And the same thing, that's what I have here. I can just say, okay, my font color, let me put it at red if I want to make warning, for example, so that anybody that sees red knows that this is warning. And I have font A, font B, font C. This is really talking about I can increase my font size and I can change my font style. So I can say, okay, I want my font to be bigger, font A is now bigger, and I can decide to change the color from Calibri to, not really good at this. Let me put it at, which one is beautiful? Let me put a Gammond, and let me change the font B size to from Calibri to Arial Black. which makes it kind of bold. And I can change this to a bookman old style. I need something that can actually change, that looks like, okay, let me put it at font C or Gabriola. So putting at Gabriola, and I can decide, I said I can increase the size here and I can decrease the size. But if I don't want to use the font list, then I can decide to use the big A and small a button. Whereas when I click the big A, okay, let me come to my font, big A, it keeps increasing, and my small a keeps decreasing like that. So this is how to increase. You can either increase or decrease with this, or you pick the particular font size you want to achieve. That's that about the font size. Now, next, talking about formatting, I have the text. And talking about text, I go to the alignment group. At the alignment group, definitely I can do it with any of these also. I can align right, left, center. But let's use this. So first thing first, I can just say, okay, I want to align the text up. You won't notice any difference here. But I'll give an example where, okay, for the horizontal, for the vertical, you will not really notice the alignment. But for the horizontal, when I click align left, you see it at the left. Align center is going to be at the center. Align right is going to be at the right. So let me put it back at the center. What I want to really show here is, let's say, for example, I'm choosing Control Z. I'm selecting this range because what I did earlier was to duplicate, no, to duplicate by this, like this. That's not what my aim is all about. My aim is to extend the cell. I've extended the cell from row 3 to row 9, and maybe I just want to have just a single text there. So what do? I can just say merge from the alignment group. I go match center, and my tests will match center, but look at my alignment, I still have it at the horizontal center. So it is centered at horizontal, and I cannot put it at vertical center. I can put it at vertical up, vertical down. You can see the difference now. I can put it at horizontal left, right. I can put it at horizontal left. I can put it at horizontal center, vertical center. If this is what I want to achieve, because sometimes I may want to have tests that spans different rows. The same thing if I want to have tests, let me put it test that spans different columns. Then I click out, I select the range I want the text to be at, and I can click on match text also. And for merging the text, I can find this at the center, and at the bottom, I can put the center up like I said again, the roll is not that big, so you won't notice the difference unless. But the horizontal level now, at the horizontal level, you discover that we have different positioning: center, left, right, and so on. Let me put it back as center. No, that's that. And when we talk about wrapping tests, for example, if I have test, 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 test as an example, and I have this, if I click on wrap test, what will happen is it's increase the length of the row and leaving the column width the same. and you can choose whatever wrapping you want to wrap. Now, talking about formatting again, let's talk about numbers. What can you do with numbers? How do you want to arrange your numbers? You can select all your numbers and say, okay, I want to actually know whether I am on the number, because when we come to the number tab, now let me come back again. I can say I've highlighted all my numbers. I can either click this particular arrow at this angle to bring up my dialog box for cell formats. I can go to numbers and I can actually make it numbers. I don't want to make it general. It's generic. I want to exactly make it number. I want Excel to know that this is number, because general is different from number. I ensure I click on numbers, and I can decide to say, okay, I want my number in how many decimal places? Let me see, in 2 decimal places, and it's going to give me 2 decimal places. And I can increase or reduce the decimal places either going to the dialog box, increasing the decimals to 4 decimals, or I can just choose uh, increase decimal or decrease decimal buttons. So I can I can increase decimal, and I can decide to reduce decimal and make it normally a whole number or 2 or 1 decimal place. You can just decide to adjust as you wish and as you like. And another thing you can do here is just press to bring out to bring up the dialog box. Just press control key 1. Control key 1 will bring up the dialog box. And when you look at the decimal places, the sample, you look at the negative numbers. This is showing how negative number will be displayed. But I will show you more when we go to dates and when we go to currency actually. So you can either, to bring up the cell format dialog box, click on this little icon here, press Ctrl 1, and any other format you want to use, you can right click and come to cell format. You also get it here, and you have your number, your alignment, your font, your border, your fill, your protection, and whatever you want to do from the cell format dialog box. I've explained dates somehow extensively, and what I mean by extensively is, like my example, I'm comfortable with having my dates in a format that shows me the month. I know the month, I know the year, and I know the day. So I can just go on to numbers and I want to choose date. So from the date types, I have date types. I can just decide to come month and day and month. I can come month and day, month and year. I can put it in full. What do I want? I want month, day, and the year. And this will be changed to January 11th, 2023. Depending, this is data analysis. And in data analysis, you have to make it meaningful. I want to know, is this January record? I want to know, is it February record? I don't want to guess. Especially the only thing that helps me out, like I said, when I'm looking at date is anytime I'm seeing 19, anytime I'm seeing something above 12 at a particular partition, I know, okay, if it's above 12, I know, okay, this is the day wing. This is the date wing, because the month wing, the month cannot exceed 12. But sometimes, based on the requirement of your stakeholder, you can just look at it as, okay, let me make it simpler for them. Let me make it a good format. That's one angle to it. Another angle to it is when the report is needed in a particular format. Then you can just come to the dialog box, control 1, come to the dialog box and choose the exact format that the report is expected to be formatted. Simply put. So you have to check the requirements and give them, or give whoever wants it, your boss, any stakeholder, what they want. Now, coming to currency, the same thing, you still go to the number group. We have been working with the number group ever since. And I can pick on the dialog box or just drop down on the dollar sign. From the dollar sign, since we want to specify our currency, if it's not dollar, if it's not pounds, if it's not euro, if it's not Chinese yen, I hope I'm correct. I just click on more format and you come to symbol. That's one way you can get to it, but this is giving you in accounting. Look at, you are on the accounting tab. You can just go to currency tab. You have more symbols, and you can just decide to go. Okay, you are here in Nigeria. You are working with Nigeria. I press NN twice, but you can decide to scroll up and scroll down to look for your preferred symbol. But me, I just have to, once I'm on symbol, I just try, because I know I'm in Nigeria. I keep clicking on N, and I have my NGN. Unfortunately, we don't have symbol. You click OK. We don't have symbol when it comes to Nigeria. We have symbol for other currencies, but when it comes to Nigeria, we don't have symbol. I don't know why. Dollar is a symbol. Pound sterling as symbol, but when it comes to other, like Canada, I think Canada doesn't have symbol. Canada has its own. Let me come back here and type CAD. I think we have the Canadian, maybe. I think CAD should stand for Canada. I'm not sure, but this should be the Canadian kind of dollar. So this is how you arrange your currency. Now, talking about currency, let me go back to my Naira. Like I said, we have other options here. So go back to my Naira. This is a way of formatting. This format says that once the money is positive, then it's reads NGN and the actual price. But sometimes if it is negative, so let me add another, so let me cancel it. Let me put another, okay, let me, my Control Z to ensure I go back to my normal number. And here I put negative 50, negative 90. I put my negative 90. I come to my format. Now, it now depends on how you want to see your negative figure. The first negative number should show us, okay, let's put it at USD. So it's going to put, you are going to see 50 USD, 60 USD, 70 USD, or dollars rather. And you are going to see negative $90. If you want to make it in our currency, which is, I'm here in Nigeria, so I put NN in Nigeria, you're going to see it as negative 90. And I go and decide, fine, based on my formatting requirements, I want to see anything negative in red. I just pick this format and I say, okay. And once I click OK, anything I see in red, I know it's negative. And somehow, some people in accounting love brackets. That is, anything negative will be bracket out. So I click on it, then anything you see in bracket means it is negative. And lastly, some people find they want it in bracket, but they still want to show you in color patterns. Then you see it in brackets and in color patterns. So this is, formatting is all about seeing things as you want them to be seen as you feel they will be presentable. So that's its formatting in all its flavor. So let's look at some examples of formatting. Some examples of formatting. Now I have this record. It's a fitness progress chart. I have my fitness progress chart. Let me correct this. Okay. So I'm coming and see we have issues because it doesn't contain that particular cell alone. So I can decide if I want to extend this to have it this way. Some people can be lazy enough to do it this way and think it's okay. Fine, it could be okay, but we'll be having issues by the time we start because sometimes we want our report headings to be bold, sometimes bigger, somehow bigger than the rest of our data. And I can decide to double click on this and it's going to be like this. But we don't want a situation like this. I think this is not really professional when we're talking about reports. I think the fitness progress should be able to be, what do you call it? Bolding big and cut across all our cells. That is the report cells. So I'm going to do Control Z to undo. So what I will do here, let me undo again. So what I'll do here, this is the raw data. What I'll do here is to click on my first cell and select the range to cover all my report range. And I go to alignment. For my alignment, I click on merge and I want to put it at center. This is good. Now, this doesn't adjust the column A. The one we did later, earlier, adjusted column A to be bigger, to be more space consuming. But now I've decided to merge the column. Another thing I can do here is I can decide to give that column a feel to make it look like a report. I give the font size a feel, we've studied it before. I make it bold and I increase the font size. I can use the bigger A so that this looks more like fine. This is a very good report. Now, this is the report's name. We want it to come out. Now we have the report header. I have to select the report header. I can click and select all. Another thing you can do is to click on the first cell, hold down your shift key and your right arrow key to select it to the preferred right arrow key you want it to be. You make it bold and you can slightly make it bigger so that it makes more meaning, and you can decide to have a feel for it. And let's say we want a lighter feel. Yeah, a lighter feel. Black is okay. Then I double click on this because the percentage is outside the cell. I double click on the edge to make it bigger. I need to adjust. This is estimated slim body. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. Just click on the edge to make it at the right size. Because one thing with, okay, these hips, I don't want it like this. It's too tiny. So that's all about your report. You want your report to be very presentable. That's all you want. And your date, like I said, I can come to my date. This is just an example of a report that I want to showcase. I can decide to make my date. Let me go to my number format. I don't have dates. Okay, I have it dates here, but let me bring up my dialog box and let me scroll down. Control 1 will give you that also. Okay, do I have day and month? Okay, I have day, not the whole month. Now, like I said, I think I've explained this. Once you have a column width that can contain, especially numbers, like date and anything that contains numbers, it turns to pound signs. And once it turns to pound signs, it's not human readable. To make it human readable, you come to the edge of that particular column, you click hold down, you increase the width to give you what you want. But if you want Excel to help you out automatically to give you the perfect fit for that particular column, go to the edge and double click your mouse. Left click, double click, pop. So you have the exact match. So this is October record to November. I'm watching my weight. Is it clear enough? I can decide to select all the rest. Let me do it again. All the rest of my column, all my records, and what do I want to do? I can do what is called cell style. I come to cell style and I choose a style. At least I need another color that will be different from what I have before. Something that I've made a disclaimer before. I don't really know what is presentable and what is not presentable in terms of color, in terms of design. But the major thing about this course is ensuring that everything looks sparky. So I've looked at the cell styles, fine. It looks okay, but I'm still not okay. I want to make everything in the center so that everybody knows the column it fits into. So making it center is okay. Another thing I need to correct here is I have the percentage here. I have percentage as numbers or as decimals. I need to convert them to percentage by clicking on the percentage button or otherwise clicking on the dialog box, looking at the percentage. I'm not a subscriber to this. I don't increase percentage decimal. So I love it as it is. But in case you want to increase or decrease the percentage, you can just do that through the dialog box rather, and you can put it on some decimal places, which doesn't really work for me. So I love it. Anything percentage, I love it like exact like that. Fine, I have these. When I use my cell style, if you notice, I've removed the borders and it doesn't really make my report looks sweet. So to make my report look sweet, I want to do something called border, and I want to make it all borders. So making it all borders makes this report looks, at least to my own taste, to my own taste, looks okay. Looks really good and sparky, and that's that. And you can, like I said, you can make your adjustment to make it more presentable, and you can make your adjustments to make it according to requirements. I keep mentioning requirements because I've encountered bosses, or let me say my senior colleagues, that want report from me and they want it in a particular format. So you need to go and learn that their format and give it to them as they want it. That's the essence, the real essence of formatting, making it presentable and doing it according to specification. And that's just an example when I use the Excel format 2. Excel format 3 is also an example. I have a record here, and the record, I have invoice number, this and that. It doesn't make sense. It looks raw, it looks discrete. One, because here we don't even know what we are aiming at. The invoice number for what? Date, which, okay, fine, we can relate with the date, 11th 1, 11th 2. Salespersons, okay, we know it's the name of some people that are into sales that are giving us money. Units, maybe unit sales. Okay, so again, in data analysis, you just say unit. So I can just say unit. Okay, this is in capital letter or in caps. So I can say unit sales or unit sold, rather. Unit sold. Okay, and I have sales amount. So I'm selling 500 units. I'm not trying to make sense out of it, but I'm just trying to present it. It's formatting. So maybe I don't know the amount, but at the end of the day, it sold. This person, Sheung, sold 500 units, and we are the amount is 20,000 in naira, but we don't know now. This we have problem as a data analyst. We have to ensure we have the currency, and when it comes to percentage, you have to ensure we have the percentages. Although this percentage, I'm not comfortable with it because everything should be like 100%. So the total, I don't know. But our concern here is not the data, but it's in the formatting. So now, what are we selling? Who is selling? What is going on here? And to see what is going on here, we have to put our heading. So the first thing you have to do, so that everybody will know what's going on, is to insert a particular role. Insert role. To insert a role that says, let's say, November 2023 Tabicom sales report. At least this will give you an insight to the fact that there's a company, there's an organization, there's a brand called Tabicom that you are looking at their report. That's the first thing, and we are going to do what again? We are going to make it the heading of our report. So again, what are we going to do? We're going to make it merge. We have other options here: merge across, merge center. That's what we have been using. Merge across. It will merge across, but you will not put it at the center. You can see the report not at the center. And anytime you click on, when I click on merge, it merges the cells, and when I click on it again, it will merge the cells. So I have merge cells. I can just merge cells. In fact, merge cells and merge across almost look the same. You just merge everything across. But most of my time in my formatting, I want to merge center. As I've merged center, I want to make it bold to look like a report. I want to increase it a bit. Or it's not necessary I color code it. I can just change the font color. I go to the font color. Like white will not work. It has this up. I can make it very big blue. Okay, my blue color. Now that's the heading. November 2023 Telecom sales report, or let me say October, November, because I think it could be for a particular period. OCT, October, November 2023 Telecom sales report. It's not making sense. You agree with me? It's not making sense. The next thing I want to do is to highlight the header itself, number of invoice sales. Then I fill it. I want to fill it with the same blue, but I want to change the font color to white. Looking sweet as puppy. The date, I want to make it double, instead of 11/1, so I want to make it 11/01. Like I said, depending on your specification. So do you have double dates here? Yes, I have double dates. I'm clicking on it. That's what I want to achieve. The name, I'm not working anything on the name. Unit sold, its number. I can decide to make it a number format. I want to change it from general. I want to ensure it's number. It's very key. I don't want, okay, sorry, I don't want decimal points or decimal places. I want, now this is currency, sales amount. Let's make it in dollars. Although I'm in Nigeria, but dollar is huge. And even now, I'm having 20 of millions, 30 of millions, I will have chosen naira. But this sales make sense when we make it dollar at least. Do I want decimal? No, I don't want decimal. I want them like this. So the same thing. Okay, let me take it to the, okay. The same thing here. I didn't do the total. I want to do the total in dollars. So I want to take this also to dollars. I think by default it will give you two decimal. You have to change it. And your percentage, just click on percentage. You are okay with the percentage. Your max, mean, and average should be in dollars without. That's what I want to get. Invoice, you have 9 invoices. And I want to ensure it is number. It's basically just ensuring you have the required format and the right formatting. Now, it's looking like a report, but I have issues with this. I need to make sure they are unique. So I can make them, I fill them and I make them white so that they look unique in the report section. And I think I'm missing out their border lines. I need a thick border. No, I need all the borders to separate them, all borders. Now you can see all the borders. Are we good to go? I can do something more here that can help you make it looks rather sweet. This is orientation. So I can choose my orientation here, but I can go to my control 1 or click on my format dialog box. And I'm looking at alignment. I come to orientation here. I want to make it 45 degrees. I want to make them 45 degrees. I click OK. They are 45 degrees. I don't have their border line. I want to make them all bordered out. And think I'm good. Another thing I need to highlight is the total. The total, should I use blue? I think I like blue too much. Let me make the total somehow green. Yeah, dark green. And I make that white, the font size white. I'm not good at colors, but just to, you need to highlight some key points. And this looks very okay. Okay, I put, look at now. Mine, I said it should be in naira, but I'm changing it to dollars, so you can change it. You need to make your report very okay. You need to make your report very okay. You just need to look at your report and make it very okay. No misinterpretation, sales amount. Okay, I didn't specify sales amount. You can decide to specify sales amount and put it in dollars, but I can put it here, but I represented them in dollars. And these are in percentages. And I think I'm okay. If I miss anything, please let me know in the comment section, or you can chat me to let me know what I've missed out. I think everything is looking okay to me. You can adjust, you can design. Like I said, this is all about designing. You can design to your own taste, to your apart from your own taste, to specification, what they want. Thank you for listening. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more. More trainings are coming up, and I will say thank you for listening. And you can comment if this has been impactful.